But first, I want to pick up on the slide on the slide 1, which is researching the market. Who's doing the slides? Hello, anyone doing the slides? Okay, cool. So just the first slide, please. Yeah, and the next one. That's it, fine. So as you can see from the start, the first slide, I always say to everyone, be better than yesterday, today for a greater tomorrow. It just simply means that you can learn anything you want that you didn't know yesterday to better your chances for the future. I use this term a lot when I'm training and mentoring the thousands of people that I've mentored globally. It's not impossible to get a job when you've got low level of skills in IT. It's highly improbable because there's people more than yourselves who are skilled, who proactively learned outside of their normal arena. And so to increase those odds of getting a job, you have to increase the odds of the skills themselves. So researching the market, whether it be in Pakistan, India, or anywhere in the world, you have particular sectors that are very prevalent in your country. Researching the market would allow you to identify the kind of platforms, whether they are data platforms or BI platforms, to then allow you to have a pathway to learn all the correct stages required in order to understand what that market demands and how you can convey. And again, as I wrote in the slide there, sometimes it comes down to the tech stack being Microsoft, if it's going to go to Power BI, or if it's Google, it'll be Looker Studio, Data Studio, or say or Tableau, which is independent to both. But it's very important to understand how much you can get out of all the data products within these in the product family. Next slide, please. So again, choosing a pathway, whether you choose Power BI or Tableau or any other BI tool, it's important to know it so well that if someone was to ask you a question without opening the BI tool, you could draw a diagram and convey in simple terms the stages required from getting a requirements list or a problem statement from a client or a stakeholder to then conveying what you have, then presenting that in a proof of concept as a deliverable. It's important when you're choosing a pathway simply because you could overlearn everything. Like in my early career, admittedly, if I wanted to choose something because I'm of the old world of Microsoft or Microsoft Access, I would choose Power BI as the first BI tool that I would learn, simply because the structure in Power BI makes you accountable and responsible for every stage. So if you use Power Query and you fail in Power Query, you cannot go to the next step. Whereas in the likes of Tableau and other tools, they're very data centric around its own platform. So if you get a field wrong or a calculation wrong, it'll just keep spinning, or it'll have a red error and underscore or something like that. Next slide, please. So before you visit, there's a mentality that I use, and it falls back into the other one with the diagram. So this is saying before you do any visualization, planning, or decide to do any dashboards and any BI tool that you choose, it's important to know the problem statement. It's important to understand every aspect of what's being asked of you. Are there any killer facts? Are there any KPIs? Are there any calculations? Do you know the data well enough? Is the data going to answer certain questions that's conveyed in the problem statement? Do you know how it's going to interact? How will it work? Then you have wireframes to answer the question, whether there will be something descriptive, which is what's happening now, something prescriptive, which is based on what's happening now, what can I do, or predictive, how can I prepare for this better in the future? And this is the importance of a methodology, where if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you design all these things at the start, the wireframe and the problem statement and getting all the data that you need, then you can move on to the next stage. The next slide, please. Knowing under the hood. So normally, as I mentioned about Power BI, in any BI tools, yes, you do have a connection to an integration, sorry, to a data source or a data platform. But what will go further on is thinking 360. But part of thinking 360 is knowing under the hood, knowing what data we have, knowing the limitations of that data, knowing the possibilities of that data, but also understanding the relationships of each. So if you're talking data modeling, you have to know what fields can be related to what we call cardinality or relationship. So it has a one-to-many relationship, or in Power BI, you have bidirectional. Once you understand these, when you place these elements on dashboards, then you'll know that via performance or via interactivity, it'll be a smooth and easier process because you know what's related. Next slide, please. So know your toolbox is when you know any particular BI tool that you've chosen in your path, know your product family. I've got many people who are seniors, some are leaders, some are data analysts. They just know Power BI as developers. Some are even trainers. I ask them, why don't you know Power Automate? Or why don't you know Power Agents? This is all part of the Power Platform if you're doing a Microsoft stack, if you like. If you don't know these for the new world, then you'll be in a situation where you'll have to relearn these later. So it's important to know your toolbox well. Same with Tableau. If you know Tableau and you know cloud and server and you know desktop, you know Tableau prep, all these things will show you what's possible, what's the limitations. And then with each of these, especially with tech, you know that the data changes every 3 months, 6 months. There'll be new releases, there'll be new technologies involved, etc. So it's important to look at future, current, and past versions to get the best out of any BI tool. Next slide, please. Thinking 360. Now, I said this at the start. This is the mentality I developed myself, where if you have any BI tool or giving anything from a problem statement, you can look forward or backwards. Thinking 360 means you're not just designing something as a dashboard. You're not just designing business intelligence tools. You're thinking, how can I make this into a better solution? If you take it as 10 steps, if someone in a company where you join, whether you're an individual analyst or you're part of a team, and you start on step 4, you got to go 4, 3, 2, 1 to learn everything first before you go 4 to 10. This is very important. You know, in simple terms, it says, what are you connecting to? What are you building? And where are you publishing to? So they're saying, what data have they got? What are you trying to build? And where is it going to be published for wider distribution? Next slide, please. Learn the fundamentals. Now, even myself being in the industry for 14 years, there's a lot of stuff that I became complacent of in my early years. So what I try to do is I try to help all the generation, whether it be the Gen Z or anyone just recently looking for work. It's important to learn the fundamentals. You know, there's loads of tools now where you have like your Snowflake, you have Google, you have DBT, you can have Salesforce. If you learn the fundamentals of these, which are freely available on their own sites or on LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, Udemy, DataCamp, it will give you enough structure to convey what you know in a setting. What this means is you're either knowledgeable or you have knowledge. Knowledgeable means that you know enough to ask a question or you know where to find it. Obviously, now in the new world, it's whether it's Google or ChatGPT, but knowledge means it's expertise you've gained in your career. And this is very important when learning fundamentals. If you go to any particular role and you tell them you know Snowflake, you know DBT, you know Databricks, then you simply can have a better idea and understanding of what they're trying to do and how you fit in. And that's also adds to what you call your skills repertoire. So you can sit down and you can say, before I design a BI tool, I need to know the data structure and who the engineers are within the data modeling concept to allow me to give the best possible deliverable. Next slide, please. Learn from others. I mean, just as the brilliant platform that we have today with Data Seekho, we have many individuals. Congratulations to, whether it be the alumni for the 3 years or any particular individual that's recently got a job through Data Seekho. There's loads of things. There's myself, there's many people on LinkedIn who I'm connected to. In order for you to become better than yesterday, today for a greater tomorrow, you have to interact and connect to the right network. Yes, in some cases, people will not reply, but there are other people that reply. We don't tarnish everyone with the same brush. One of the co-founders, Osama, he remembers me from way back in 2020 when no one answered his questions. I answered all his questions, and I still know them to this day, and I guide. Everyone is willing to help you if you give them respect on the expertise that doing. Just because even in this situation we're in now, just because I am a director, I don't want everyone to treat me like a director, but I want enough respect to say that it's taken me 14 years to tell you something in 30 minutes. Next question, please. Next slide, sorry. Future-proof you. Whether you do anything in your career, it's important whether you're at home or you're in an office to future-proof you. There are many projects now, social projects like, I don't know, in Tableau that you have Makeover Monday, you have Viz projects galore, but you also have your own mobility where you can say you have a particular social topic you want to talk about, you want to talk about sports, etc. You've got data sets on Kaggle, Google. Now you have the ability with AI and ChatGPT to make your own data sets, but you also got things like Mockaroo, where you really have the power to say, I choose a particular industry and I want 100,000 fields or 10,000 fields, just 100 fields, just to show your range. What does this do? In your career, when you go for an interview, you're now conveying an industry data set that you're familiar with, and that's in their realm, and that will put you in better stead when explaining how well you know that industry. Your next slide, please. Be forever student of your craft. Very important. I've done this for a while, 14 years. I never stop learning. I learn from people who are just starting in their career. I learn from people who are at the end of the career. I learn from every platform. I learn from everyone. Anyone can learn from everyone. This is organic networking. This is how we grow. It's not stupid. It's not silly. It's I'll put it in, say, Indian and Pakistani terms. We'll go with where there's dud, there's dumb. Where there's fear, there's fight. If you don't know something, you want to learn it better. And this is where we say that if you have this kind of mentality now, it's not you don't know, it's you don't know yet. And now you choose to know because you got rid of the fear that you didn't know before. And this is very important simply because it will help you guide you on your journey. And that concludes my short session. Thank you for listening. I appreciate everyone's time, and I'm open to any questions from anyone else.
Incredible. Incredible. What a fantastic session from Mr. Anmol Sanswa. Audience, we would like to hear from you. What is your domain of expertise? In which field you are pursuing your degrees and career, and why?
Share why you choose so. We are loving the energy you are bringing in the session.
Dear audience, a Google poll is created for you. Kindly answer the question there and let's meet again in 2 minutes. Guys, if you have any question, write in the chat box. Don't raise hand.
What do we have here?
We can take question first.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look. Shall I answer some of the questions in the chat?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what you got. Can we be job ready from courses? Courses are part of your fundamentals. So if you do a course and you understand there's an art of learning how to learn, if you are going for a particular job and you go for a course, then you exactly know what that job spec requires. So you're learning to learn. If you do the course before you do a job, then all you're doing is learning fundamentals. So that's that answer for that. Business intelligence is not just about some tools that concern me. What are your thoughts on that? So business intelligence itself is you could say it's a methodology. It combines intelligence with business analytics. So it's not about the tools, it's about the methodology. It's about understanding that before business intelligence, there was business analyst. Before business analyst, there was a data analyst. Before data analyst, there was a managing information analyst. All these things are methodologies how to understand and convey data correctly to deliver to your audience or your stakeholder. Growing in data analytics using Power BI as main analytics. So I don't even know what that question means there. Growing in data analytics using Power BI. Are you just saying that that's what you're doing, which is fine. But if you're using Power BI, you need to use new Power Platform as well. So if sorry, someone's raising their hand at the same time then. Yes, Hayat. Hello, someone raised their hand there. All right, I don't know what's going on there. Okay. What do recruiters look for in data analyst resume and portfolio? Now, this depends. In England, it's all about KPIs, deliverables, and actionable insight that you convey. So KPIs being, I reduced something, I made something better, I was part of the team. Whereas in Pakistan, India, it's more a case of how well you know the tools and the features. So you got to write, I know the DAX language, I know Tabular, I know how to do Power Query effectively, I know the latest version of Power BI. So within your portfolio, it depends on which country you're in, but your resume or your CV can link back to your portfolio because you have to know like the back of your hand. If you convey all these things that you're like a senior or a lead, they will ask questions back at you. Do you know admin? Do you know how to maintain users? Do you know how to do development? And do you know how to do distribution? These are the part of the things. So we are pursuing in data analytics field. This is a rising field and moreover, yes, that's correct. So what is actually data analytics? Okay, cool. So again, data analytics is similar to what I said about business intelligence. It's a process, it's a methodology, it's a framework. It's saying that from the data, we make it come alive to get actionable insight. It's like telling a story from data, any data. And that's what data analytics means. So after doing course, should we directly go for an internship job or learn more before going towards a job? Very good question. So in general, it's how confident you are. Like if you did a 6-hour course, don't think you're going to survive a 30-minute to a 1-hour interview with someone who's proficient in those BI tools, expertise, or discipline. It's important to say when you're going for a job, I'm doing this course. So you say, whether it be on LinkedIn or an email, I'm doing this. I tell some of my students, my mentees, write on LinkedIn that you're a data evangelist, which means you're learning all these things, and here's the stage you're at. What that does is gives people confidence that you're proactively learning and gives them respect that you're learning their discipline well. So that means that if they ask you a question of something you've learned in 2 weeks and you can answer those, then you're on the right path for your future. Remember, you're not doing things for your now, you're doing things for your future. If your now works out, great, but you're doing things for your future so you become visible to that market. Okay, what we got here? So what kind of changes happen okay, fine. So that means that there's certain releases and certain maintenance versions of every single BI tool. This could be a feature, or this could be an amendment, or this could be an integration to something outside, like another data source or a data platform. Now, it's important to understand these changes simply because if someone says to you, oh, you're on version 10 on your CV, the client has version 12, then you're not going to know none of those features. Whereas if you're abreast of those technologies and those releases of the now, the future, and the behind, it's easier to understand. Is data no, data analytics has been out. It's not an emerging field. It's been here for quite a while. It's been in every single data team, wherever. It's not nothing new. Data business intelligence includes artificial, what's this like? Okay, data business intelligence, artificial intelligence insights. So the likes of LLMs, ChatGPT, etc. Yes, to a degree. Depends how you want to use them. You could say into an LLM or anything else that I want to design a dashboard. It'll build you a dashboard. You can ask it insight. It'll give you insight. But it's all about the right questions that you ask. If you talk about, I mean, the previous gentleman probably mentioned it, in the ML, but there's a thing called RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. You could possibly use a chat model, an LLM, to talk to that data to get the answers which are specific to that industry or specific to that question. What we got here.
So, Mr. Anmol, I would like to take the lead. I'll ask the questions so that you can answer easily. I
Yeah,
hope that.
sure, great.
Yeah.
Well, I was
So,
waiting for someone to navigate because I'm just answering questions of what's going on.
yeah, I understand it's actually gets difficult to, look into questions from the comment section and then answer. So I'll be helping you out with it.
Okay, sure.
Mr. Anmol, we have this trend in Pakistan and India, where people, they take courses, multiple courses from different academies or online platforms, and then they expect that they will land at a particular job. So we have a question related to that. Somebody asked that if we take online courses and practice it, is it enough that we would get a job or land to have an internship?
No, again, it's down to fundamentals. It simply means that you're learning how to learn. You are learning all the components that you require in order to answer a question in an interview or even on an application form. So whilst the courses are structured to give you what we call the hello world, they're not going to make you work ready unless they're designed. I mean, things like LinkedIn Learning, they are designed by people who are in the job. They're not hello world. And then SQL BI and things like that. These are certain courses that tell you how to do things in the business world. And that's down to, again, meeting the right people, networking correctly to get the right answer. You cannot just get a job out of a course. Even myself, in my 14 years, I'm learning new stuff. Doesn't mean I'm going to get a job in Snowflake with Tableau or Power BI. It just means I can answer the right questions and I'm more confident and happy with that. Does that answer the question?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. So I have a next question for you.
Mhm.
So we have this question: can business intelligence predict the trends of Bitcoin or stock exchange?
So business intelligence and prediction are two different things. Prediction is machine learning. If you have a correct data model and then you use something like Python to create some regressive models or create a model that will kind of understand everything from FX and all the Bitcoin data like XRP, then you could load it probably into something like Tableau or Power BI. And then you could do some calculations and logic. So there is a step before that. Business intelligence comes later of conveying data, logical data. Yes, there is an argument where you can write calculations for it. You can write R, you can write Python, you can do all these things within the BI tool. But why do you want to do it there when you want it at source and you just want the BI tool to convey or visualize what exactly you want to present or what you want to see as an outcome?
Thank you. So there's another question, which is, what are some key metrics and KPIs one person needs to focus on when analyzing business data?
So again, it's splitting down the data itself. Like if you look at, say, dates as a field, standard is the year to date, month to date, this year, last year, this week, last week, etc. But you can have rolling 6 months, you can have this, you can have that. I mean, if you look at some of the Kaggle data set or the Superstore data set, it clearly shows in there you need sales. Sales is a singular measure, right? So you can look at sales as a KPI. Something being sold, so the quantity of something, the percentage of something, and then you can have high level metrics to say, example, you use webs, you can have number of impressions or number of clicks. All these things are specific to that data set in that sector.
Thank you. So another question: what key skills and tools do you consider most important for someone starting out as a business intelligence analyst?
Okay, great question. So I call this advisory and consultancy, and you could do it at any level. You could do it when you're 10 if you need to. So advisory is simply saying, I've listened to everything. So good soft skills. I've understood everything. I've listened to all the problems. I understand all the pain points. And now I'll go into consultancy. When I answer the questions I've understood, I convey how I'm going to answer them. And that's exactly how my methodology is.
Okay, so I have this another question. Somebody is asking, like, a degree is enough, or do we need to have certifications in this field so that a resume could get more strong?
I mean, a degree is a degree. If you have a degree, you have a degree. Whether in India, Pakistan, in the UK, there's a bit more difference now where they look at more experience than the degrees. But in India, Pakistan, it's a bit more prevalent to have one. A degree, again, is shows how you can. I mean, let's take it as a whole. When you go to university, you learn a degree, you learn copious amounts of information, you learn how to absorb, you learn how to convey. 9 times out of 10, what you've learned at university, you're not going to do in a commercial setting, in a corporate environment. You're going to do something completely different. The degree just tells people that you have the attention span and the basic skills to understand and convey what's being given to you as a task.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anmol. So there is just one last question, because that's what I could navigate through. It is that what are the certifications you would recommend, international certifications in the field of BI analytics that you would recommend to the students?
I mean, look, it depends. It depends again from, when you research the market or you choose a pathway. If you're using Power BI, then it's important to have the Power BI certifications and learn about Power Platform. On top of that, if you're going down the Microsoft stack, you need to know about Azure and Synapse and all these other things that come with it. If you're doing the Tableau side, then you learn about server, cloud, you do the data certifications. So you can either do a BI tool certification in the discipline, or you can do a data platform. So all these things are fundamentals, so you can learn any single BI tool or data platform. Just learn the fundamentals first, and then everything else follows as you keep learning, as you keep growing, as you keep organically learning. And the more you are in demand of a particular task or a question, the more you want to learn about how to fix it.
Thank you, Mr. Anmol Sanswa, for such an enlightening session. Now it's time for the most informative, engaging part of the session. We have such an enthusiastic audience. The chat is buzzing with questions.
It's good.
Sir, I have another question for you.
Okay.
As AI is taking over in every field. So what's your point of view on business analytics? So it is possible that this field will completely replaced by AI, or it also grow with AI?
I mean, it's a good question. It's a fearful question that certain companies can afford to have AI. Certain companies can't afford to have AI. Whatever you do, you have to future-proof yourself. So AI probably will replace everything. But then if AI can replace everything, it'll replace the company, the CEO, and everything else, then no one's going to have a job. We haven't got time to worry about that. Be fearful of the individual who knows how to use AI well. Don't worry about AI itself.
Sir, we have a last question.
Mhm.
Could you please elaborate on advisory and consultancy skills you talk about?
Sure.
Does this include communication and public speaking skill?
I mean, if you think of it from a top level, that is soft skills. That's what you call competencies. Yeah. Advisory is just a methodology that I created in Thinking 360, where if you can sit down with anyone and understand what they need and what they want to get from you, then you can convey and that you've understood what they've asked of, and then you can convey how you're going to deliver. That's advisory and consultancy. It's a methodology of a consultant, not just a BI developer who's asking questions on how shall I make this dashboard, or someone tells you make this dashboard. These are the difference between a developer and a consultant.
Thank
A
you so
huge
much,
thank
Mr.
you to Miss
Anmol.
a huge thank you to Mr. Anmol for sharing this illuminating viewpoint and insights, and our dynamic audience for their consistent engagement. You guys have made this session memorable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anmol.
Thank you, everybody.
But don't go anywhere. Just
I'm here. Yeah.
2 more days. 2 more days of incredible content, inspiring speakers, and life-changing insights awaits. If you guys have any further question, you can ask in chat box. And Mr. Anmol is here.
I'm here for as long as you need me. But let's take some questions. Let's take some other questions. So anyone from the Data Seekho team, just choose some more questions.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
we'll like to pass on the mic to Mr. Osama or Mr. Anwar, who are with us here
Okay,
today. So
sure.
I believe they have tons of questions for you, and also they'll be addressing more of the things. Apart from that, Mr. Anmol, I would like to thank you on behalf of whole Data Seekho team and audience from Pakistan and India, and also for some from Africa. So we are very happy to have you over here with us. You know, this is a virtual platform, but you deliver a very great content. And this is something we'll definitely learn from it. Somebody coming from an entirely different field, I found this session very interesting. And I
Mhm.
believe our audience also benefited from your wisdom and from your kind words. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you again someday with another topic and with another insightful
No,
session.
that's fine. That's fine. I really appreciate. I mean, anyone feel free to connect to me on LinkedIn, as Osama will tell you, and quite a few others who connected me quite recently. I don't do YouTubes. I don't do nothing like that. I do one-to-one sessions to give you what you need to help you survive and put you in the right direction. I call it hope without expectation. I'm going to give you belief in yourself if you follow my guidance, and I will push you in the right direction.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Anwar and Mr. Sama.
Hi, Mr. Anmol Sanswa. Thank you so much for being here. This is Mohammad Anwar. So once again, I would say that it's been a great session, and it's my first interaction with you, and of course, it's incredible. And I guess, I would say that I'm out of vocab to just mention that. So I have a particular question that nowadays most of the students in other sessions ask,
Mhm.
that what are some of the international opportunities, some of the global or remote opportunities for the students, or basically from high schools or colleges in APAC. So in Asian Pacific region
Mhm.
specifically, what are the global initiatives that are being taken by multiple bodies or like that? If you like to mention that.
So it's a very loaded question, right? And I'll tell you why. Unfortunately for all of the people on the session today, someone older than you, someone wiser than you, someone with more experience than you needs to pick you up and help you out. That's not going to happen because people worry and care about themselves. So when we talk about, these initiatives and these projects, you got like data, you got like what you would call it, the Upwork freelance project. If there was a particular individual from Pakistan who's a director and he wins a project, then he opens the door for the people underneath him. Yeah. Whether it be like I am in the UK, I help people globally. If I open the door for someone and say I need a data analyst or this or that, I mean, it's very important that even with my companies and so IT solutions, 60% of people that I know don't work for me, but to the recruiter, they all work for me. Why? Because I'm credible in the market and it gives them industry respect that they work for someone like me. Then no one can ask them, what experience did you have? So there are loads of projects, there's freelance projects, but it's important of how they get to you, because then you'll get someone who just gives you a task and then you'll forget how to learn and you won't grow and you won't get to the next stage. You'll just become a forever data analyst. That would be my reply to that. There are loads of data projects everywhere. It's just someone needs to give somebody an opportunity and a chance.
Perfect, perfect. It's more impactful when somebody having that much huge experience in the industry is speaking about something. Then, of course, guys get that question well answered. So, yeah, over to you, Sama, if you have anything you may ask.
Thank you, Anmol, for delivering the session. Super amazing, I would say, session. Thank you, my team, for making this happen. And I still remember 2020, like when we started this mission to empower the audience. And now we have the platform, we have the audience. And to be honest, when I was going through the QA part and reading the questions are still same, like in back 20, same problem still the students are facing. And you have addressed all of these basics question which they really face on daily basis. So I'm really thankful. My team is really thankful to you for making this session more than just like a, I would say, a career advice, how anyone can start and make it in this domain.
Yes, I think it's important whether these questions are not answered today, if the